interview room. Collin has 2 top 10 finishes in 7 starts this season, including T7s in both starts in Hawaii. Collin, can you comment a little on your season up to this point?
Yeah, obviously the fall, I kind of want to forget about it, but I learned a lot. I got to be ready for this year, and with such a big season, so many events, no one's letting their foot off the pedal. They want to keep playing well. They want to keep winning tournaments, and having a little off season, getting ready for Hawaii, kind of got me refreshed, got me ready, and I think that shows. The first 2 events of the season, I came off on a good start. Wasn't great, but definitely better than where I started off in the fall. So I look forward to finally playing back here in LA, and so far the course looks amazing. So it'll be a good test for the week.
Yeah, you finished T26 here last year. Can you talk a little bit about how this golf course suits your style of play?
Yeah, growing up out here in Poana, growing up here in Kikuyu grass, I'm comfortable with it. I'm not making adjustments. I know what it's going to be like putting for in the afternoon when you're on a Friday afternoon, come 4 or 5 o'clock. So I'm comfortable out here with the way the course is set up. Looking at it so far the past couple of days, it's firm. The rough's not necessarily up, but the greens are getting bouncy. They're getting some rollout, so it'll be a good test. You got to make sure you hit your irons in the right spots and leave yourself in the wrong spots or in the right spots when you miss your shots.
And before you open it up to questions, if I'm not mistaken, I think you may have just played a few holes with Willie Mack. Can you give your impressions of him as a golfer and what impressed you while you were out there with him?
Yeah, I mean, just aside from golf, just an amazing guy. I was able to read I think Ryan Lavner's little write-up on Willie Mack, and pretty inspirational, pretty motivational. But like I told him out here, we're all here to win a tournament, and I could see that in his eyes that he feels comfortable in the situation. So I think he birdied 10 and 11 today, and with a breeze, it was easy for him. And obviously it's a Tuesday, but you could see he's got game. He keeps working at it. He's grinding, and that's what we're all doing. We love the game, and to see that in his eyes, to see that he just wants to keep getting better. It's pretty. You see a lot of that in a lot of guys out here, and that's why we're out here. And hopefully he has a great week and makes it all the way to Sunday and has a great finish to the tournament.
All right, we'll open up to questions. We're going to start with Daniel Rappaport.
Yeah, hey Collin. This is the beginning of a pretty hectic stretch in schedule with these 4 next events and then match play and the Masters. How do you go about? Do you have like a maximum tournaments that you're willing to play, or do you won't play X in a row? And then how do you go about sort of managing your energy levels in this stretch?
Yeah, I think 3 is kind of around the max. Sometimes you have to put 4, and can't change the schedule. It's just the way things go sometimes. But how do you manage that? I think it's just being really smart about how you go through Monday through Wednesdays. I'm not out there from sunrise to sunset, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just grinding. It might be okay for 1 week. The 3rd week, it's not going to be okay. And, I've learned that about myself. I've been able to be efficient with how much time I spend out there, how much rest I'm getting. It's just huge, being able to rest. We take sleep for granted, but it is really important for what we do.
Okay, let's go to Mark Cannizzaro with the New York Post.
Hey, Collin, how you doing, man?
Good.
I have 2 questions. One about you first. I'm just kind of curious, once you won the PGA, how things changed for you. I mean, I'm sure there were probably more obligations and whatnot, but just kind of with your expectations, and you referenced the fall not being what you wanted it to be. What effect did that have on that, maybe with your expectations?
Yeah, I think it was just more my standards. My standards obviously went up, and that's going to happen, I think, with anyone. But I just thought it was going to come too easy, and I thought on the off days things were going to be slightly better than what they actually were. And that doesn't mean I was getting lazy practicing or getting lazy prepping for the event. But I think just thinking through shots the way I was thinking through them, it just wasn't as clear. I wasn't getting as creative with my shots. I wasn't thinking through, the way I was at the PGA, for example, or at Workday, whatever, when I've played well. And, it's a learning experience. It was a few months of just not great play, but I learned a lot from it. I know what to fix. I know how to not get in that spot again. So, you know, having such a great team around me, my coach, especially Rick, he's going to call me out. You know, if we're not trying to get through 2 events, 3 events, 4 events, and then figure something out. I'm trying to figure it out after one event if something goes wrong, if something's not, you know, mentally right, and get on pace to finally pick it back up and figure it out.
And just as a follow on Willie, you yourself, like a lot of the guys on tour with, were much more, for lack of a better term, traditional. Would go through college and whatnot, kind of coming right back out. His path has been obviously his journey very different. I just wondered if you think he would have. What do you think of his perseverance? You know, obviously you read his story. You know about his story about sleeping in his car and that kind of thing. And do you think you could have ridden that out yourself?
You know, I'm not going to speak for if I could have done that or not. I think his path is his path. And it's amazing the path he's gone and how he's gotten here playing on the PGA Tour today. This week, I know he got in as late addition to Farmers, but he embraces that. He plays for himself, and that's what's most important is that, you know, he's doing it all for him. How does he get better? How does he build his community around him? How does he build his family and keep growing that? And, you know, that's what's memorable. You know, like you said, just the grit, the grind that he's going through every single day to keep getting better. That's what we're doing. You know, yes, I was very fortunate. Do I think I could have done that? I don't know. You know, it's too hard to tell. It's too hard to answer. I'm not going to say anyone can do this, anyone can do that. You just never know given the situation someone might be in. But to see what he's gone through and to see where he's at now, very inspirational.
Thanks, Collin. Have a great week, man.
Thank you.
Okay, David, if we could ask you to turn your video off, please, unless you're asking a question. Thank you. We're going to go to Rex Hoggard, Golf Channel.
I don't know what kind of experience you had here growing up. Did you come over and ever watch the tournament when you were younger, or was it too far of a drive?
No, just never really had interest. I'll be honest. Like it was never my interest when I was a kid to go and watch golf. That was just never my thing. You know, I went a couple times to Sherwood, but other than that, I never came here. The first time I played here was early in the summer when I knew the USAM was going to be here. I knew a couple members, Cal guys, Cal donors, whatnot, that was able to get me out here and play a couple rounds. And, you know, I loved playing Riv with the USAM. I liked it. But last year I actually fell in love, and I know why. JJ, my caddy, loves this golf course. I keep falling in love with it, and it just makes it a little more special being in LA. I'm sorry? I think when I just think about the course, you know, you look at a great golf course and does it test every shot? Does it test everything that you need? Absolutely, and that's what Riviera does. You know, you hit every shot out here. You hit draws, you hit fades, wedges, long irons, 3-woods, everything. And I think that's what makes a great golf course. You know, you're hitting every shot. You're tested on those golf shots. So that's what makes it fun.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go to Jeff Shackelford for our next question.
Hey, Collin, I just wanted to kind of ask you, I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but you were here for the Zozo, so in theory that was kind of your return to Southern California after winning the PGA Championship, and I realize without crowds, it's kind of hard to gauge, but to follow up on Mark's question, I mean, how has your life changed coming back to kind of your home region? Do you notice anything different? Do you get recognized much, or is it still kind of a weird thing with the whole pandemic?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say I get recognized a lot. I definitely get recognized a little more at golf courses now. You know, I was able to go back at the course in Glendale, Oakmont Country Club, where I practice at when I'm home. And definitely, you know, you can see a lot of people's eyes on me, you know, knowing who I am, just showing up. But I try and live, you know, the same life. I try and still stay under the radar as much as I can. COVID obviously has taken a big hit on, you know, just being able to go out to dinners and in La Cañada, or, you know, around that area and see people that might recognize me. You get recognized every once in a while at an airport, but Nothing what some of these other guys are going through. I don't think I'm there yet.
Just a quick follow-up too on the comment about not coming out to watch the golf tournament. You know, most golfers are inspired by tour pros. Was that just something that was not in it for you? You just weren't really taken by watching the pro game, or was it just more the difficulty of getting over here?
I think it's kind of neither of both of those. Yeah, I just never watched a ton of golf growing up. You know, as a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, you know, I wasn't on my computer. I wasn't trying to get out to any tournament just to watch. Not saying that they weren't motivating factors, and you know, I still wanted to be them. But like Willie has carved out his own path. I wanted to create my own path, and I didn't need motivation in that sense to come out here and be like, wow, those guys are really good. I knew how good those guys were, and you see them on TV, you know they're good, and that's what I wanted to go work on myself. I didn't need to come out here and just be, you know, jaw-dropping, just in awestruck of like, you know, wow, you know, I hope to be one of these guys. I wanted to make that happen. I wanted to make that dream a reality. So nothing against them, nothing against me of me coming out. You know, it just wasn't my thing to come out here and watch golf.
Thanks.
Okay, let's go back to Daniel Rappaport.
Well, Collin, I'm curious your strategy for the 10th hole this week. What determines whether you lay up or go for it? And then do you look at these breakdowns of like guys who go for it but have this scoring average, or this is the scoring average if you lay it up, or is it more kind of a feel thing for you?
Most likely I'll be hitting driver every single day, or whatever gets me to that front edge kind of just rolls over. You know, I keep looking at the wedge shot, and I keep saying, you know, yes, we can hit a 70-yard wedge shot, we can hit a 100-yard wedge shot, but when you look at the green and how narrow and shallow it is, it just doesn't make sense in my head. Like, especially how firm the greens are. That first bounce is going to bounce so far, so you're working with 2 yards, 3 yards, and when you're on, you know you're going to hit that shot. But when you're off a little bit, or there's wind and it's cold or whatever, that can cost you being in the short bunker. That costs you being over. So, you know, you hit driver, you hit it down there. Most likely you'll hopefully have a chip shot. If you don't have it at the pin, you'll have a chip shot at the middle of the green, 2-putt. You know, if I'm even par, I'm not going to be sad. I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to be just okay with even par, because, you know, I'm not losing. I don't think I'm really losing any shots to the field if I'm even par through 4 rounds on that hole.
So it's basically saying that the wedge shot's no guarantee, so there's no real advantage.
Absolutely.
Got it, thanks.
Do we have anything else?
Oh, excuse me.
All right, Collin, we appreciate your time. Best of luck this week.
Thanks, everyone.